Good night, everyone doing tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. I need with your spiritual, but I need to give you a long word on tonight. Now we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning of the Bible. Now we're gonna start with Eve. We're gonna start with Adam and Eve. First, we're gonna start with God. God had created the world in 6 days. You know, Adam and Eve. Eve was discontent. Discontent is defined as a feeling of not being satisfied or desire for something else. You, you know, God gonna forbid them to do something. She gonna be just like a child. When you tell a child they can't do something, they gonna want to do the opposite. They gonna want to know why you don't want me to touch this, why you don't want me to do that. But that's how Eve is. She gonna have the desire of why I can't eat that fruit, and she gonna keep on be determined to try to eat that fruit. So this story about Eve, God had forbid from eating off the tree of knowledge. Now Eve started thinking why he don't want us to eat off that tree. She started having a desire for it. Now Eve also thank God is holding something back, from good from them. So God forbid them from eating the fruit. And she think God holding something back from her. Well, why we can't eat the fruit? So that's just like telling a child. When you tell a child what they cannot have, but they want it anyway, and they're gonna keep asking questions why. So that's how Eve had a feeling of discontent. So Genesis 1 through 31, God created the heaven and the earth and saw that it was good. He created everything that was in it. I mean, everything in 6 days. That's amazing. That's very smart and intelligent to create a whole world in 6 days. So chapter 2 and 1 3. Heaven and the earth was complete. But on the seventh day, he rested. God said, I'm gonna give me some rest. All the hard work I did, on this seventh day, I'm gonna give me some rest. He said he gonna rest. And he made that seventh day blessed. He also made it holy. So the seventh day, he rests, he blessed it, and he made it holy. So that's why on Sunday is a holy day. So God rests from all the hard work, of creating that he had done. He's a very creator. So now there are animals, birds, everything that's on the ground. So now he got all the animals, he got everything on the ground, but he don't have nobody to work it. He don't have nobody to keep up with it. So then the amazing person that God is, he said, well, let me create a man. So let me create a man to help take care of all these animals and birds that's on this ground, on this earth. So Genesis 2 and 5. Now God about to form a man from the dust of the ground. Now see, we ain't number dust. He created from the dust. He took the dust from the ground, put breath into it in his nostrils. The breath of life, you know, and the man became a living being. He ain't number dust. He created us with dust and made a human being. So God had planted a garden in the east, in the Eden. Then God put a man in that garden. See, he made animals and birds, and he created this garden, but he had nobody to run it. He had nobody to take care of it. So now he created this man to take care of everything. So in the middle of the garden was the tree of the knowledge, of good and evil. Now God took a man and put him in a garden to work, to take care of it. See, God created a man on earth to work. So to me, every man really supposed to work. He put the man on earth, the first man that was on earth. And what God did, put him in the field to work. That means everyone's supposed to work. So in the middle of that garden, was the tree of knowledge of good and bad. So he had a good tree, and he had some bad tree. So he forbid eating that tree of knowledge. But you could eat any fruit that's in the garden, but just don't eat this one in the middle. And Eve gonna be like, why? So chapter 2 and 15, God had commanded the man, that you are free to eat from the tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat it, from it, you will certainly die. Now that's some bad words right there. That should make you not even want to touch that tree in the middle, you know. But they ain't stop nothing. They must have thought God was playing. God said you can eat whatever fruit you want. But see this tree in the middle? I forbid you to eat this tree in the middle. And if you do decide to eat this tree in the middle, you certainly will die. So now this God giving Adam a command. Now see, no woman's not in the picture yet. So God made this command to Adam. So he was the man. When Eve came along, he was supposed to forbid her not to touch the tree in the middle. But he did. He didn't. He let her persuade him. So God giving Adam a command not to eat from the tree of knowledge. And God said it is not good for a man to be alone. So he put the man on earth, put him to work, give him a command not to touch the tree in the middle, but then he lonely. This man is lonely. So God said, it's not good, for a man to be alone. So I will make a helper suitable for him. So God made a woman suitable for Adam. So God brought all the animals and birds, and animals, and he brought them all to Adam. And he told Adam, give them a name. You know, see all the names that they have for these animals. Adam named all these animals. So God said, Adam, you need a suitable helper for him. You know, God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, while he was sleeping, one and took one of the man's ribs and closed it off in his flesh. You know, he took a part of his rib. Then God closed him back up. Now he in a deep sleep. He don't know what's going on. He don't feel no pain, no nothing. And God made a woman from the rib that he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. So that is amazing. You know, First God made Adam out of dust. Then he put him in a deep sleep and took a part of his rib out of him. And then he brought a woman to him. They said Eve was beautiful, so he brought a beautiful woman to Adam. They just were living in paradise. Just walk around and had no clothes on, and then God would just bring him a beautiful woman to him. He just had it made. They just had it made. So now Adam have a helper. It's now his wife. So God say a man leaves his father and mother and unite with his wife. See, when you get married, it's supposed to be one. It's supposed to be as one. That's what God started out with Adam and Eve. He saw that Adam was lonely. And so he said, I'm going to give you a suitable person for you. So he made a woman. That's why he called one man. He took a piece of his rib and made a woman for Adam. And once you get married, he says you're supposed to leave your father and mother, unite with your wife. So ain't no more being a baby no more. Once you get married, you leave your mother, your father, you leave your parents, and you cling to your wife. And they become one flesh. So Adam and his wife were both naked and they felt no shame. That means they were living in paradise. Living in paradise. Just they have no shame. And that's how life was at the beginning. Peaceful. You know. And so God give Adam a command. Before God made a woman. So it was Adam's job to let her know the command. And I think Adam did let her know, but she just had a desire. She just had a feeling. She just had to just keep on nagging and nagging about it until she finally got hold to it. So Adam and Eve are living in paradise. That's paradise. When you could just walk around naked, not know you naked. I mean, they know that naked was not ashamed. You know, the only two on earth. Adam had a job. Soon, God made him. Soon God made Adam. He brought all the birds, the animals to him. Look, I need you to name all this stuff here. So that's where all the names of the animals came from Adam. So now here goes Satan. Speaking to Eve. Now the serpent said to the woman, did God really say you must not eat, from any tree in the garden? Now the devil is a manipulator. So he talking to Eve and trying to persuade her that God is hiding something. Now we see that Adam did give her instruction, because she told Satan, that we cannot eat from that tree in the middle. So that means Adam did told her about the command, but she didn't follow through. So now we see that Adam did give her instruction not to eat off the tree in the middle, but you will die. So the serpent said to the woman, for God knows that when you eat from, from it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now he manipulating her. You know, he manipulating her, telling her that God don't want you to eat that apple because then you'll know evil, from good, just like he does, you know. And if they wouldn't, she wouldn't have been persuaded by Satan. We'll be still living the way they was living on earth. But everything had changed once she started listening to the devil. So the serpent said to the woman, for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good from evil. We can't be like God. We are image of God, but we cannot be exactly like God. He's the only one God that we have. And nobody can be like him. So now Eve spoke with the servant and now she feeling if God is holding something back. And I see the devil now put a little thought in her mind. And she gonna keep on drilling on what the Satan had told her. So now Eve spoke with the servant and now she have a feeling if God is holding something back, good. She also guessing herself, can the serpent be right? Now she guessing herself. She done had that conversation with him. Now she really thinks that God is hiding something, and now she is saying, is Satan is right? If the serpent is right, he might be right. So when God give Adam a command, God give him a choice. God, see, when God give us a command, he don't destroy it out there. He give us a choice. He said, if you decide to eat that apple, you will die. He will give you instruction. He will give you a demand. He will give you a command, but he also will give you a choice. You do or you don't. It's a sacrifice that you will have to make. So when God give Adam a command, God give him a choice. You'll eat of any tree, but not in the middle of truth or knowledge. Adam and Eve is living in paradise, but now they are about to mess it up. They're about to mess it up. And that's how our life got all screwed up, and that's why God had to step Jesus in. So Eve talked with the devil. And now she is feeling, a desire of why God don't want them to eat from the tree. So the devil had planted that in her head. So now she think God is hiding something. and she's gonna keep on drilling on it. So remember, the devil is wise. Remember, the devil is smart now. He ain't dumb. The devil is smart. The devil is wise. Remember, he come from up there. He got knocked down here. So he know the Bible from front to back. He know how to manipulate you. The devil know that Bible from front to back. So that's how the devil works. Have you thinking that that's how the devil works. How you thinking on a thought, and now Eve is entertaining that thought. See, she walk away from the devil and walk away with the thought. You know, now she entertaining the thought that she have in her mind. So that's all it takes for the devil to place a thought in your mind. And Eve is about to proceed action on that thought in her mind. And that's why everybody, keep on telling me, don't drill on what you're thinking about, because a lot of times you react on it. So that's why I don't drill on the same thing all day long. You gonna say something, and you might have the thought in your mind, but just don't keep dragging on it all day long. Eve had that thought in her mind for days. That was too long to have that thought in your mind, because once you keep on having that thought in your mind, then you're gonna start reacting on it. So the devil know the Bible from front to back, and that's how the devil work. Here, have you thinking on that thought, and now Eve entertaining that thought. So that's all it takes for the devil to place a thought in your mind. Now Eve's about to proceed action on that thought in her mind. Eve about to proceed action on that thought from talking to the devil. So Eve wrong choice will cause us to be in this world with sin. And that's why God had to have Jesus to step in. So Eve taking a move to her thought, and she saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food, and pleasing to the eye. Remember, the devil told about the eye. Your eyes will start opening up, and then you'll see, then you'll know the good from bad, just like God. So he manipulated her, and also a desirable, for gaining wisdom, and she took some, she ate it, and now she's in content. Discontent was a feeling, a desire. It was a feeling and desire that the devil planted in her head. And she kept on drilling on that thought, until she react on it and ate the fruit. So now Eve ate the fruit, and she gave her husband Adam, son, who was with her. Now he was with her. So after she ate it, she gave him a piece. Look, take some of this here fruit. So he ate it. And he was the man when he was supposed to step forward and put everything in perspective. And he was the one, he was supposed to tell her to get away from him. Don't listen to him. So then the eyes of both of them, was open, and they realized they was naked. See, at one time, they was naked. They knew they was naked, but they had no shame in it. It didn't bother them, they were just walking around, But now they ate the fruit, the devil said their eyes was going to be open. Okay, their eyes is open. Both eyes are open, and they realized they're naked. So they saw the fig that leaves together and made covering for themselves. So they try to find the leaves and pull everything off the tree to try to cover themselves. Because now they feel shame. Remember earlier God said they was naked and they had no shame. Okay, now they're naked and they have shame. So now Adam and Eve, they hear God. Now God in the field calling them. Adam and Eve. God walking around in the woods, looking for Adam and Eve. So Adam and Eve, they hear God calling them, and they're so trying to hide. God calling them, so then they're trying to hide. First they got the leaves and stuff trying to cover themselves up. Now they hear God calling them and they hide. So God walking around in the garden and they are hiding from God among the trees. So God called the man, where are you? God, like, where are you? They're supposed to be working in the field. The animals supposed to be taking care of the animals and stuff, feeding the trees and all this kind of stuff. And now God is walking around calling them and asking them where they are. So Adam answered, I heard you, but I'm afraid because he are naked, and so he hid. So God said, who told you naked? So at first they didn't know they was naked. They have no shame. So now their eyes is open. So they know they're naked. They're trying to cover themselves up. They're trying to hide, from God. And God said, who told you naked? So God said, who told you you are naked? So have you eaten from the tree that I command you not to eat? For them to know, they are naked and trying to cover themselves up and hide. That means God said, y'all not eat that fruit. Didn't I command you not to eat that fruit? Y'all not ate that fruit, and you broken that command. So Adam quickly said, the woman you put here, now that's his wife. Now he quick to blame it on his wife, but you the man, you supposed to put your foot down. So Adam quickly said, the woman you put here, with me, give him some, and he ate it. So you let you let a woman just tell you what to do, and you saying, well, she gave me the apple and I just ate it. So God spoke with Eve. What is this that you have done? What is this that you have done? Woman said, the servant deceived me, and she ate it. So first Adam blamed Eve, now Eve blaming on the servant, which she did, but they were supposed to listen to God. If God said, do not eat this fruit in the middle, this tree in the middle, you're supposed to listen to God, not the servant. So God spoke with Eve, and then the woman said the servant, now she know afterwards he deceived her. The devil know how to deceive you. The devil know how to manipulate you. The devil know how to plant a seed in your head. And after the devil caused you to mess up everything, guess what? The devil is gone. After he'd have had them to eat that apple, deceive her, then he was gone. So now Adam, because you listen, now God is talking to Adam, because you listen to your wife and you ate the fruit from the tree about which I command you not to eat. So the woman will have a curse on her life. And Adam, also you will too. Adam named his wife. See, he good at naming everything. God designed him to be creative and just give out names and stuff. So he had named his wife Eve, because she will become the mother of all the living. So they both was living in paradise, just walking around naked, not knowing until they ate that fruit. Because what they did, Jesus had to come and sacrifice, himself, due to the sin that's in the world today. Eve was a blessing with every perfection by a loving creator. Now God loved the Eve. He created her a beautiful. They said her body, everything was perfectly fine. And they said God loved it, Eve. And God made a garment for Adam and Eve clothes. So now they had to wear clothes. They had to stay covered up. Then it messed the whole world up from eating that fruit that God forbid them not to eat. So Eve wandering off, she meet with the devil. Remember, she had a thought, and she took the servant order. She thought God was hiding something. The devil had her thinking that God was holding something back. You know, Eve persuaded Adam to eat the forbidden fruit. Now the serpent insert a tiny web of discontent in her. That means feeling and desire. Because she had the feeling and that desire after she had talked with the devil. Discontent. She had a thought, she had a feeling, and she had a desire. To eat that fruit, and she reacted on it. Jesus Christ had to step in on the behalf for the sin. You know, the perfect love they had in the garden was no longer existed in this fallen world right now today. You know, the change was immediately after they ate that fruit. Our whole life had changed once they ate that fruit. You know, once they ate that fruit, now God created for us to live in paradise. You know, we wouldn't have to worry about pain and suffering. We didn't have to worry about us be shame. We was gonna be able to walk around. You know, like there was. We wouldn't have to worry about pain and suffering. They didn't have to worry about pain and suffering. We didn't have to worry about making growths and all this kind of stuff, gas and all that. We would have been just living in paradise. You know, the fruit of knowledge, they realized they was naked. So they both was ashamed and trying to cover themselves. So the devil promise was empty. Now we see that devil promise was empty. See, devil can always promise you something. Like he told Jesus, I promise I give you all this shit. you know. And Jesus told him, my father owned all this shit. You get behind me, devil. That's what we got to do with the devil. We got to tell the devil, get behind us. You don't own anything. God owned all this shit. He created the whole world in 6 days. But the devil will promise you something that he cannot fulfill. So the devil promises were empty. And when she ate that fruit, the devil job was done and he was gone. And that's how the devil do. The devil a mess and screw your life up. You know, the devil will have empty promises. And then you'll turn around. He'll be gone. Now he had her to eat that fruit. And gonna tell her eyes gonna be open. She gonna be smarter than God. We can't be smarter than God. But the devil had manipulated her. That as you eat that fruit, your eyes gonna be open to good and knowledge. You're gonna be smart as God. And then after he stood up there and watched her eat that fruit, watched Adam eat that fruit, and then they start having a shame on their face and trying to look for stuff to cover themselves up. Guess what? The devil job was done. The devil job was done, and then he had left. He was gone. So the devil job was done, and then he had left. Beware of discontent. Beware of that, because the devil will plant something in your head and have you a desire for something, have you with that feeling for something, and then you keep on drilling on that, you gonna react on it like she did. She left the servant and went home that whole day, you know, drilling on that thought that he said, well, maybe we will, be smart as God. The devil said, we eat the food, our eyes gonna be open and we gonna be smart. We gonna have the knowledge of good and evil, and she fell for that. But then she realized what she told God when God questioned her. Oh, the devil deceived me. Oh, now you know the devil deceived you. You can't, God created you. God created you. So that means you cannot be smarter than God. So beware of discontent. We all face temptation, to believe that there is something better out there, So when we accept that thought and we believe like Eve did, the devil will have us right in the palm of his hands. Like he did Eve, If we listen to the devil with his empty promises, the devil will have us in the palm of his hands. He had Eve in the palm of his hands. and the devil are staying up there and watch you destroy yourself. And once you destroy yourself, because see, the devil's job is just to destroy you, stop you, kill you, steal you. He's there to do all those things. And he'll stand up there and watch. He'll watch you destroy your whole life after he done plant that in your head. And when you are all dried up and done, he gone. The devil's job is done. Eve look around, God questioning her. But you think the devil gonna step in and help her? No, he was gone after she done ate that fruit. So remember, the devil tried to tempt Jesus. Jesus told the devil to get behind me. He tried to tempt Jesus. Give him empty promises that he cannot fill. Jesus, I give you all this here. I just want you to see the devil wants everyone to bow down to him. He don't want nobody to bow down to God. He don't want nobody on God's side. The devil try to get much people as possible on his side to bow down to him. He wanted Jesus to bow down to him. All I want you to do is bow down to me. I promise I give you all this here stuff. Jesus said, you don't own this stuff. My father owned all this stuff. Devil, you get behind me. Jesus recognized it right offhand. And this is how we got to do. We got to recognize the devil right offhand. Because see, the devil don't own anything. The devil only job is here to kill, steal, and destroy. And he was staying up there and watch you destroy your life. He stood up there and watched Eve eat that fruit. Adam eat that fruit. He probably was in the corner somewhere when God was questioning Eve, why you did this here? What have you done? And the devil probably was in the bushes somewhere just watching her life crumble. Because he done lied and told her, your eyes going to open and be smarter than God. God created you. How you going to be smarter than God? How you let the devil deceive you? She told God, he deceived me. And so the Lord, the God, blaming him from the Garden of Eve to work the ground from which he had been taken. So God banned Adam and Eve from the garden. He told them they got to leave this garden. The garden they was in was holy, with no sin. And they sinned once they ate the fruit because they realized they were naked. And then they had to put clothes on. God told them, you get out this garden here. Get out this holy garden. Just get out of here. So God told them to get out of here. So God had drove the man out and placed on the east side of the Garden of Eve. So he put them out. He told them, y'all go head on. Y'all multiply, and I'm going to come back with part 2 that they're going to have 2 sons, twins, and they're going to be the only children on earth. The only children, just like Adam and Eve was the only human being on earth. And God can tell them to multiply. And the first children or twins they're going to have with his 2 brothers. So I'm going to talk about that, and that's going to be part 2. I'm going to try to go from the beginning on to the end because I'm about to start doing Bible study. So we all can be learning all this wonderful package from this Bible, and this the number 1 package right here in the beginning of the Bible, Adam and Eve, and how Eve had a discontent of feeling, a desire, something that she was satisfied that did not satisfy with her. If she was not satisfied when God had commanded her, forbid her not to eat that fruit. She want to keep on leaning on it. Why? She was like a child. When you tell a child they can't have something, they're going to be in that corner. Why, mama? Why I can't have this here? That's how my grandkids is. They're going to want an explanation. They're going to want to know why we can't touch this. Okay, you can have this one over here, but you can't touch this right here. And Eve had a desire. She had a feeling, and it was something eating in her. Why? Well, she starts thinking, well, why God don't want us to eat this here fruit? And then she stumbling, wandering around in the desert and stumbling on the serpent. He gonna tell her, your eyes gonna open up. You're gonna know knowledge. You're gonna know good from bad. You're gonna be smart as God. You know, she cannot be smart as God. She done let the devil deceive her that the whole world, that affect the whole world, all the generation of us coming to the world. You know, you don't even have to sin when you coming in the world. It was just we was born with it because of her eating this fruit. You know, so just the beginning of the Bible, and it was so amazing how God had created this whole world in 6 days. You know, I didn't go into the details, you know, but He spoke things and made this world. You know, He didn't work with his hand. He spoke it. Let it be light. That was light. You know, let it be dark. That was dark. He divided this and he divided that. You know, and it was just amazing how he did all that hard work in 6 days. You know, I don't blame him. You know, it's time for you to rest on the seventh day. You know, he spoke and made everything happen. You know, that's why everybody be talking about words don't hurt. Yes, it do. You know, people can speak words and destroy your life. You know, that's why we got to speak words, a positive words to rebuke anybody that say negative words towards your life. Because see, at the beginning, God spoke things. You know, let it be light. You know, He spoke those words. Let it be light. You know, so people can speak negative stuff over your life. You know, and destroy you. You know, that's why I be fasting every morning. That's why I stay in this Bible every day. You know, and I had told y'all months ago, you got to write a list stop of positive things to keep on fighting any negative thing that come against you. You know, my journey is a long process, but I have not got destroyed because I read the powerful words that's in that Bible. Fighting it off. You know, she got to fight it off. And these words in this Bible is very powerful. All you gotta do is read one page, you know, and you speaking the powerful words that coming out of your mouth. You know, so that's all the word I have for you on tonight, and I'm gonna come with you. The next word gonna be the two children they had, the only two children that's on this earth. You know, we gonna talk about how, you know, them two gonna be like Esau and Jacob, bigger in and fight. You know, so y'all have a blessed night, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next video.